Hey, hello everybody.
Welcome to Club Friday, guys. Glad to have you here.
So glad to have you here. My name is Taylor Thompson.
And I'm Larry Thompson, little L, the big T.
So we want to say hello. So please say hello. Hello, Minka. Hello, you are a special guest. Last week, you crushed it, knocked it out of the park. Hello, Tammy. Welcome. And if you're coming on, if this is your first time on, make sure you drop a 1 and let us know. We can say hi. And if you haven't given StreamYard permission, because we go live on many platforms, this is what we see. So I know you're from Ireland, but I just don't know who from Ireland is talking. So give them permission to say your name so we can say hello. Like, Onisa, hello from Texas. Now we got a Texas girl in the house. Woo-hoo. Hello. And we got the UK in the house. Yes, I love Miss Christine. She's always got lots of energy when we go live with them in their group. And we got somebody from Germany. Okay, make sure you give StreamYard permission. So we want to say hello to you. So guys, if you're watching this on a replay, make sure you push #replay so we can also catch you up to speed. So we go live every Friday. This is our Club Friday. And we talk about this amazing book, the book club, the Millionaire training. And this is the training that was really set the stage for me whenever I got started 28 years ago. It's hard to believe 28 years ago, just because I was looking for mom care versus daycare, whenever I was looking for a way to make an extra $800 a month. And so many, things, I know things have changed, times have changed, but I do know for a fact that moms haven't changed. And there's a lot of moms out there that still are looking for that mom care versus daycare. So let's talk about it today, because I wrote in the description is, are you eating the crust? Are you eating the crust? That's what we're going to talk about today, because I think that so many times that people are in it for, and if you read the book, if you're reading the book, if you've read the book, then you know it's all about the fried bologna sandwich and that story. And that really has been such a life lesson for me.
Yeah, it was a big lesson for me. And I put that in from a personal story that I have that goes back almost 54 years ago that this story took place. And I was having trouble with procrastination. Most people have it to different degrees. And then I started to discover something, okay? I was procrastinating. It was a habit of mine on things that I did not really like to do. The stuff that I like to do, really came out there and, went after it. Well, let me tell you, the money is generally in the little things that we don't like to do them first. And it's called Eat the Crust of the Fried Bologna Sandwich. So I want you to go in there, into the book, okay, into the audio portion, or go into the book itself, okay, or go and listen to the fried bologna sandwich. It's entertaining for you, okay? But it's a story that will stick to you for a long, long, long time, and it will help you beyond belief. And it's always the small things. I will tell you myself, as a long-haired hippie construction worker with no education and no self-confidence and no self-esteem, I could always tell you the color of your shoes, but not the color of your eyes. This was a big hurdle for me, to be able to talk to people, I flunked English 2 years in a row in high school because I was too shy to give the oral book report. So to me, to make those steps, it was so very, very difficult. And one of the things that we love so much about what we do here with the Academy, the ABC approach, today's the book club. We've got the Academy, we've got the book, and we've got some stuff coming up for you guys 1st of November that it's going to be hard for you. You're going to be so far ahead of where you are right now, and everything else that's happening in the marketplace is going to be pretty remarkable. But I will tell you this, okay? That day that I understood the fried bologna sandwich from not even doing network marketing, I would take a break from network marketing. And I took a break and I was doing some stuff that I was enjoying, which was actually building a deck around the house that I just purchased. And it hit me like a light in a dark room about procrastination and how it was so simple to focus on and take advantage of. So I want you to do that. Any of you that want to make some comments about that, feel free to do it. But I also want to share this with you. The ABC approach, the Academy, the book, and the book club. Okay. The Academy sponsors what we're doing here right now, the book club. We sponsors a free activity for anybody in our space. We also, so we have that available. We have a free resource center called the millionairetraining.com, which is a free resource center that's just absolutely spectacular. That's all I can tell you about it and the way it can help you. But what the real thing is, so both of those are sponsored by the Wealth Building Academy. The Wealth Building Academy is the bridge that links, okay, the technology that's in your hand, okay, it links you to the gig financial revolution. And I said that right, the gig financial revolution. It's happening before our eyes as we speak. For those of you that have been in a month, you've already, for those who've been in 2 or 3 months, you see what is happening in front of your eye. This is the biggest life change that's happened in the last 100+ years. The last time anything happened like this, or I'm aware of, is the Industrial Revolution in the 1900s. And what happened was there was new methodologies, I call it new technology, that came in, okay, and changed the quality of people's lives. And right now, there's worldwide, over 40% of every human being out there today in the workforce is doing some form of a gig opportunity, which is what Taylor said, the mom care versus daycare, that $500 to $1,000 a month. Okay. And it's rapidly approaching 50%. So we have that all going for us. But right now we are the link between this evolution, this changing marketplace in the network marketing space. And if you apply your network marketing skills and your network marketing experience with the new skills, with the new environment of what's happening in the gig revolution, financial revolution, you're going to just absolutely just unbelievably take it. It's going to be wonderful. I want to tell you one story before we get going here today. And I got a message from Mary and Seamus here this morning. Most of you in our academy been around with us for some time. You know them. We started a small focus group with them in June of last year. We didn't have the book. We didn't have the book club. We had remnants of the academy. And we said, if you'll go with us on this, you're going to be shocking what happens. Mary was a school teacher and Seamus was a carpenter. Okay. And they had this group of people at work and they called them Moms on a Mission. And that's what they did. They just out there getting their kids and stuff on their products, and they were doing a great job. They had been in their company for about 6-7 years, and they had been stuck at around $7,000 or $8,000 a month, pounds. That's what would make it dollars. It'd be about 10,000. You guys can figure that out. But they were doing that. Okay. And they were stuck. But it's a nice place to be stuck. But let me tell you something. In a matter of just a short period, about 75 days, this board for it caught hold. Then the academy kicked in. Then the book club, everything kicked in, okay? And they achieved an award for their company that only less than 50 people in their company history of 40 years had ever achieved, where they had documented proof that, and it's because of what's happened here with this ABC approach of over, was it 100 people? Was it, Taylor? Okay, 100 people that were making and documented in a special award for over $500 a month. That's what this is about. Because if you can incubate the stay-at-home moms and the long-haired hippies that are interested in that $500 a month, guess what? 15% of those people are going to move up to make that $5,000 a week, and 5% is going to move up to make $500 a day. Okay. Now, anyway, let's go after it.
So I love what you're saying here, Stephanie, because it's like, okay, we're talking about a bologna sandwich. You think you're craving a bologna sandwich now, but you have no idea listening to Larry, like how he tells the story and how he talks about how he made the fried bologna sandwich. I'm telling your mouth will be watering without question. And it's such a great analogy because so many times whenever we're setting up our business, whenever we're so excited. Now I'll use the analogy of the sandwich. We're so excited to eat because we want to eat the best part. And I'm such a visual in the way he tells the story. I mean, like literally your mouth is watering, and I don't like bologna. So there's that. Okay. But it really depicts like, oh my gosh, you just want to have the bite of the sandwich. And I put this in here because I think that there's so many times that, we're in our business or we're doing our business and we only want to do the things that we want to do. We only do the things that are fun. We only want to do the things like make the money, right? Get the new customer, sign up the new distributor. But that's really not all that's just a part of, right? It is the result of the activity. And so the sandwich is if you look at the sandwich, it is your whole business, right? It's everything. And so many times people, and just like a little kid, right? We're all just like little kids. Like we want to eat the best part and we don't want to do the other stuff. We want to eat the best part. And so I just want to challenge you today. Are you doing the things that you don't want to do? Are you doing the things that are required to do your business, which is like get out of your comfort zone and go talk to people about your opportunity and go talk to people about your product and your service, right? That is the crust. That's always the things that but you got to do that. You got to do that. You can't just have the heart of the sandwich without eating the crust. And so anyway, if you haven't heard that story, please, please, please go listen to it. It's so amazing. But I wanted to share this because I just saw this comment up here. So I want to go over here to Christine. So Christine, I've seen her on several of our focus groups that we've done with one of the groups, and I just love her energy. But I thought this was a comment worth sharing with the whole team. Just had your best month since you started.
Wow.
And so, okay, Christine, so now you are, you know what this means, don't you? This means you have to be a guest on the book club, right? Because we all want to know, what did you do? And we want to know your story. So I'm calling you out and you have to message me because I want to have you as a special guest here on the book club. So message me so we can get you scheduled and we want to hear your story. So congratulations to you.
Yeah. And thanks for sharing that with the whole group. And guys, this statement that Taylor just read to you and you're seeing on your screen, we hear this multiple times a week. Okay. Especially when it gets in towards the end of the month, a lot of you work off of monthly programs, and it's just shocking how people can be around. I was telling Mary and Seamus' story of how they went up there, but their income went up 5 times, okay, in about 9 months. And it's growing at exponential rates right now because the way you bring your team in is the way you bring your team up. And what we talk about in our space, okay, it's been lost to social media influencers. And I want to tell something with you. All of you are influencers. All of you have influence over 330, 300, or 3,000. All of you. Now, you have different spheres of influence. Some of it could be family. Some of it could be people you work with. Some of it could be college friends. Some of it could be clubs and stuff that you belong to. But you all have those spheres of influences that are out there today that if you approach them with the ABC approach, they will listen to you. They will raise their hands and they will be interested in hearing to what you have to say. And then if it's fun, simple, magical, especially in today's world, it is growing so rapidly that people want to make this 500 a month, 500 a week, 500 a day deal. That's just growing rapidly. And if you're positioned right to take advantage of this, so congratulations. And I'm just turning. I can't wait to just next week because we got a new focus group, 3 of them set up to start next week. Okay, with the stuff that all of you are going to get in November. Okay, hang on.
I love it. So good for you. I love everybody's like congratulating you, Christina. So that's awesome. I love the fact that everybody's focused on eating the crust. Great job, Noah. Thank you so much, RJ. That's our dog. So and Stephanie,
they don't eat the crust, they lick our faces. That's where the brony is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have our special guest coming up here. We want to introduce Mr. Brian Ellsworth. Brian, how are you?
Hey, Coach, this is our coach here, man. He's very shy. He won't tell you, but he's a championship basketball coach. So.
I love it. How are you, Brian?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. I mean, listening to you guys talk about eating the crust, and real quickly, my name's Brian Ellsworth. I'm from Buffalo, New York, and I'm a coach. I coach high school basketball, and I'm reminded I can relate to the whole idea of eating the crust. We just kind of say it a little bit different. Yeah. Everything that success comes by is found in the little things.
Yes.
I hear you guys often say run, hit, catch, throw.
Yes.
I tell my players all the time, you got to be able to embrace the little things. And, when I look at the crust, I view that as one of the little things that brings success. And, I've told you many times, and, in our conversations, and I've shared with your community here, I've been fortunate to be in network marketing for 20 years. Sounds kind of crazy when I say that. But at the end of the day, I've never, ever found something so impactful that I discovered literally 2-3 months ago. It was brought to me by one of my guys on my team, and I dismissed him. I kind of laughed it off. I go, it's another shiny object. Dude, I've been down that road. I don't really want to deal with it. And at the end of the day, I kept coming back to it. And then, I bought the book. I'm a reader and I enjoy reading. I bought this book, and I'm almost embarrassed to say that I never heard of you guys before. and I'm shocked that somewhere the tentacles, if you will, didn't connect, but so be it. Things happen in their own timing, I guess. And all I can tell you is I read the book and I couldn't put it down because it spoke to everything that I had gone through. It spoke to the space I was in at that moment. Because when I was reading the book, I'm telling you, I was contemplating, is this really what I want to continue to do for the rest of my life? Because, I had enjoyed a lot of success, but the success was based on me pushing the ball. And addition, as Larry would say, never multiplication. A foreign concept to me. But, I'll share with the group enthusiastically that for the first time in my life, in 20 freaking years, I see multiplication. I believe multiplication is within my grasp.
Well,
and
I want to just interject just a minute, because some of you who have been on the book club for a while, you're like, okay, we had Brian on I don't know, just a couple 3 months ago. I think it wasn't very long ago. Time flies when you're having fun. But I invited Brian on very specifically for a very specific reason. First of all, for those of you who haven't heard his story, I think this connects a lot of dots. But you guys, if you've already seen Brian, I want you to buckle in. I want you to hear what's unfolding here. So I didn't want to interrupt, but I did want to say that there is a very specific reason why we invited you as our guest on today. So anyway, go ahead and pick up from here, because this is exciting.
And absolutely. Then after I read the book, I said, I gotta figure out this academy thing. I got in there and I joined the academy. And all I can tell you is, I committed about a half hour, 45 minutes a day. I listen to something in there, whether it's the deep dives, the pillars. I've been through them a number of times. I will continue because, again, I believe in that concept. I didn't really understand it the way you guys position it, but I got it from the standpoint that I believe that it's a law, and it's what does it mean? What does it mean to me? And what does it mean to me now? And that's why I continue to go through it. So fast forward, I'm kind of in this deal and loving it and not really understanding where it's going. Okay. I'm making half-time adjustments and trying to figure it out kind of on my own. But I'm here to tell you that in the last 2.5 years, all I can tell you is this past month, between me and my team, we had our best month in 2.5 years.
Wow.
Now, the reason for it lies solely on what the two people you see on your screen. Because without discovering this ABC, without understanding that, you know what, knucklehead, remind yourself that simplicity is a fight, as you say. And keeping things simple and understanding that if this whole phenomenon that we hear about, this gig economy, is exploding across the country and 70 million people are doing it, and I'm running into friends of mine where their wife, I told the story, the wife is involved in the gig economy and not going to go back to be a flight attendant. Are you kidding me? If I told you that 2 years ago, you would have told me I was nuts.
Yeah.
But COVID sped all this stuff up. And it's like this perfect storm is coming together. And you know, Larry's really good at leaving the breadcrumbs and kind of saying, hey, this is what's next. My goodness, what's coming is a freaking explosion. And I could be more excited about where my business is headed. And I could be more excited to, you know, grateful to be connected with this community. And my team is, you know, they're happy.
Yes.
For you know, you can see the joy and light bulbs are going off and they're saying, wow, I can actually do this. I had one person say to me, Brian, I never heard it this way. And that's life-changing when somebody has that revelation and understands that, you know what, it really is as simple as eating the crust. For me, what is the crust? It's knowing I got to talk to 10 people a day. I got to have that conversation. And you know what? I don't care if they say yes or no. But if I talk to 10 a day, you know what? I'll sponsor 10 a month. And my people will sponsor 10 a month. And this thing will start to have a mind of its own. I mean, I can see it clearer than I've seen it in 2 decades. And I know the time is coming where I'm going to meet people that I have no idea are on my team. Why? Because of what we got here.
Wow.
This is such a powerful conversation because, you know, I mean, as a coach, you can probably relate to this subject matter more than anybody, right? It's because, you know, as a coach, whenever you're dealing with an athlete, it's the athletes that eat the crust that have the most success, that have the most longevity. And so as a coach, you want to talk about that a little bit because, you know, I think that this really ties into not only what you do with your job, not only do with you networking, but, you know, with relationships, with, you know, your weight loss, with your nutrition, with your, you know, eating, we'll say eating, but how it applies to all various aspects. You want to tap into that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, my world is basketball. And I tell people, much like you guys tell us, there's only 5, maybe 6 things you got to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you can master those, the rest of it takes care of itself. I can tell you this, that, I mean, I've been coaching about a little bit longer than I've been in the business. And what's interesting is I've observed it's never the most talented teams.
Yes.
It's the teams that embrace those 5 or 6 things and commit to doing them every day.
Yes.
And, you know, our season up here in the Northeast of the United States, you know, we'll start official practice about November 15th. But, you know, we have workouts 2-3 times a week. And it's only you know, I have people say to me, Brian, why do you show up at the school 3 times a week? And sometimes you have 3 players, sometimes you have 10 players. Why do you do that? And I tell them this. I say, listen, this time is the most important time. Why? Because they're eating the crust.
Yes.
They're figuring it out, and they're getting better at the basics so that when the bullets start flying, for lack of a better way to say that, I guess I can say that, politically correct or not, but when that starts happening, whenever somebody's under stress, what happens? They go to their dominant habit.
Yes.
So what is the dominant habit that we want to empower them to embrace? Well, it's the basics. In our business, it's our DMO. In our business, it's staying plugged into the community. In our business, it's understanding that, you know what, the way we used to do things, and I know I sound like get off my lawn guy, I don't mean to, but, you know, the way we used to do things no longer is effective.
Yes.
You know, I learned a long time ago, Larry and Taylor, people that are learned are prepared for a world that no longer exists. But the continuous learners, they're able to adapt and take those basics and apply them to, you know, Larry calls it a moment in time. You know, that Industrial Revolution comparison is phenomenal because that's what we're going through right now. Yep. And we have the ability, we're uniquely positioned to capitalize on that.
Yes.
I couldn't be more excited.
I love this. You know, first of all, like some of you have, I mean, like you haven't been in this space or this profession or industry or whatever you want to call it. I mean, Brian, 20 years, that's a long time. And I love this conversation because what you just said previously, whenever you just said, for the first time, I can see it with clarity. For the first time, guys, it's 20 years of taking him like trying to figure it out. And for the first time, he's seeing the vision. He's got it on his screen of life, right? He's got the right film and the projector because why? Because he's not seeing it based upon himself. He's seeing it for the everyday person and their path and with clarity. And that's the thing for me that is the magic of ABC. That's the magic of what we're talking about here with the 6 pillars, with the 80, 15, and 5, and all of these things that we are helping equip this wealth building community with. And I love the fact that more than anything, we're equipping people with belief.
Yes.
With belief, you know, and you just
in themselves.
That's so fun. I love it.
I got to share this with you too here, Brian. You know, you're talking about, you know, the fundamentals, and we talk about there's only half a dozen things. That's not what I was taught. So almost 54 years ago. Some of you know, some of you don't, but I joined the business as a long-haired hippie construction worker with no education, no self-confidence, no self-esteem, as I stated. The first time I came to that meeting, it was on a very fancy hotel. I'd never been in a hotel in my life. 2 very significant things happened that night. Number one, Bobby DePew, the original strategist and tactician of our space, who used to be a science teacher, okay, took that science approach to these fundamentals that he was taught, okay, and he was doing the meeting that night, and he got me believing that someone like me, as a long-haired hippie construction worker, and I never will forget it, it was at the end of the meeting that he got me. Up until then, I was just excited about going to a meeting, never been to a meeting, never been to a hotel. I'm going to get to the guys the next day. I'm going to embellish the hell out of it. You know what I mean? But I'm going to do something there. But at the end of the meeting, he said this. He said, it is obvious that we're making a lot of money. You can tell it, and you can. It's obvious when it's happening. And he says, I'd like to promise each and every one of you that you can do this. He said, but I can't. He said, but I can absolutely promise you this. What if it turns out 10% for you, what it turned out for us? That pushed me over the hump to say, I think I might want to try this. At that same meeting, as a guest that joined the same night, the company Best Line Products, okay, in the late 60s, okay, was Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn became vice president of training in 90 days. And Bobby and Jim took me and taught me these fundamentals. I brought those things forward in 1980 to Herbalife, brought them forward again, okay, to PM International. Both of those are multi-billion-dollar corporations today. And because of this pandemic, because of what's changed, here's what we do know. Every business that we do business with has had to change to stay in business. And those that have been able to change and eat the crust and lock in on fundamentals have grown spectacular well. If it's a local bakery, no matter what it may be, they've all changed. But network marketing is stuck. They're stuck where they were 3 years ago, and they're still going for the influencer of 300,000, 30,000, that kind of deal. That works for addition. It works fantastically well. But now try and teach your Uncle Harry that joined your business how to do that. He doesn't have them. He doesn't want to do it. You'll barely get what's been happening the last 3 years that's been perpetuated the last year. Okay. You'll barely get addition, one who gets one. You may get some duplication, but you'll never get multiplication. And here's what's happening. Brian said sponsor 10 people a month. I know most of you passed out. You haven't sponsored 10 people in 10 years. Okay, because of the compensation models, and I haven't had to do that, and I haven't do it. Look in the mirror and tell me how the happiness in your life. That isn't working for your team. Okay, but let me tell you something here, guys. Okay, it's working fantastically well for the everyday person with these basic fundamentals adapting into this gig world. You know why? You can sponsor 10 people a month with the right the audience is there. Globally, it exists with population percentages. If it's 70 million in America, you can figure it out in your country, just percentages. Okay, you can figure it out. And they're looking for you. That audience exists. The language here, the simple language that we use to share with people to get their attention, not to get them to join, but to get their attention. They will listen to you. They're listening to other things every single day to look for something because they do not want to go back to their old job. Out of that 70 million, okay, I'll tell you right now, 17% of them are doing it for necessity. They have to make that $500 a month plus, okay? 83% are doing it for desire, and they don't want to go back to their old life. And you show them a fun, simple, magical way that they can be themselves. They don't have to change their personality. They don't have to learn how to walk on hot coals. They don't have to meditate a half an hour a day. They don't have to write their goals down and do all that stuff is effective, guys. I've done it. It's effective. But times have changed. That's not where the momentum is today. So we're trying to share that with you, and it's there. So hang in there. I'm telling you, November, we got the Zoom recruiter coming. The biggest thing that's ever happened to get eyeballs on your opportunity, on your product. If you want to be customer centric and you want to be able to onboard members, hang in there. This focus group has already proven it out without the actual tool in their hands. They're already doing it without the tool in their hand. Wait till they get it. It's all going to be available for the Academy members.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And hey, Ron Henley, happy birthday. I hope you had a great birthday yesterday. Thank you for being here. So, Brian, I love this conversation, and I just appreciate you coming back on. And quite frankly, I'm just really happy that you stuck with it, that you didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? That you continue to press in.
I am too.
and to see more about, what we are and how we're different and how, what our message is and what we're actually equipping people to do. And I just appreciate you pressing into that, because I think that with your leadership, you're going to make a big impact, big ripple in the people around you. And I can see it by the comments that are coming up here. So I love it.
And I do love this part of the end of the month, the beginning of the new month, because so many monthly programs out there. And this statement, you're going to see them over here. The best month ever, the best this ever, the best that. And it comes quickly. Okay, it does come quickly when you buckle down, because it's not that complicated to learn and get into. But guys, you got to move fast.
Yeah.
You got to move fast. This financial revolution is the biggest thing that's hit the world. It was caused by COVID and technology connecting at the same time. But the LT Wealth Building Academy is the bridge that connects those two things together. So if you're a hairdresser, a construction worker, if you're a business entrepreneur, if you're a coach, no matter what you are, There's so many gigs out there. That 500 a month, 500 a week, 500 a day exists very quickly when you connect these dots with what we have. And guys, I will tell you right now, you guys all want to have a good quarter, a good first quarter, a good 22 is what I'm really trying to say. Here's what I know from all this experience that I've had. If what you do today doesn't show up in the result column today, just like coaching, Brian, you know that, okay? It takes time. What you do this week, next week, this month, next month, and you prepare in basketball for the next month, and then you prepare for the playoffs, and then you prepare for the championship. It's the same thing here. Let me tell you this: with how fast this gig financial revolution is moving, a day is now a week is a month is a quarter is a year. Get yourself positioned for the last quarter of this year, because that's going to represent 22 for you and your team. Get with it.
I love it. So thank you so much, Brian. And guys, like, this is, this is what we do. This is ABC. If you haven't bought the copy of your book, go to themillionairetraining.com. If you haven't got your book, we've got it in Spanish. We've got it in German, obviously English. Go at least download the free chapter of how to employ yourself. Like, if you are in this business, you need to know how to employ yourself without question. We meet every Friday, right? And we call it the ABC approach, right? The academy, the book, and the club. It's ABC 1, 2, 3. And we bring special guests on here that are inside the academy, that are using the book, using the book club. So you can use this. So you can use this to be window dressing. So you can use this to increase your own belief in what we're doing here.
Yeah. And I saw earlier a comment out that Christina put up, says, I'm getting so much value out of Brian, and I'm working with him personally also. And we aren't even in the same company. The people in the academy, they're in different companies, different product lines, different compensation on different countries. We all work together on this because we learn and we grow from each other. Okay. And that is what takes. And Brian says, I'm always in there. Why? Because wealth building meets you where you are, and I'm going to also tell you, yes, get the book. But I also want to tell you this: download the audio portion of this on every single device that you have, because when you're driving down the road, you can't read the book. But let me tell you something you may need to hear, okay, page 42, which is crutches, mental crutches, okay? You can dial that in and put it on every device. Why the wife is cooking dinner, she can listen to it. And while the husband is changing the diapers, he can listen to it. Don't wait just for the book. Get it in audio form also.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, guys. Well, that is it. That closes out another week for us. And I hope all of you have had an amazing week. We're kicking off October here. I can't even believe it's October. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. I'm Taylor Thompson.
And I'm Larry Thompson.
And we're here to help you grow you.
To grow your team.
So you can grow your check.
So you can grow your company.
So that's it for us, guys.
They need your help.